Generation 7 had a lot of really solid, really appealing Pokemon designs. Or has had. Technically, we are still in Generation 7. But we've probably seen all the Gen 7 Pokemon by now, right? Although at this point, with how the Meltan and Melmetal reveals went, who knows? Anyway, Alola gave us relatively few Pokemon, it's one of the smaller generations, but so many Pokemon were so fantastic that they will be enduring fan favorites, I'm sure of it. So today we are going to have a look at some of the best designs of Generation 7. I don't want to focus too much on Pokemon that are fan favorites. I want to talk about Pokemon where the designs are successful on multiple levels and not just ones that are really appealing. But there are so many of those, I can't help but mention them. There's Decidueye, which translates the relationship between owls and spirits wonderfully into Pokemon form. Or the entire Vikavolt line. I especially like how the eyes on Charjabug look like battery charging icons. There's Pokemon like Ribombee and even Mareanie that are really cute without outright going for baby features the way Rockruff does, which is another solid popular design. Golisopod looks amazing, it's probably one of the coolest bug types of all time. Oh, and Stuffle, which is adorable, and I love how it has a tag like an actual stuffed teddy bear. But those are not the Pokemon I want to talk about. There are Pokemon that are fan favorites and work on multiple levels, and one of those is Salazzle. We Pokemon fans are very familiar with the relationship between salamanders and fire, but Salandit and Salazzle not only bring in the poison aspect, since many salamanders are toxic, but Salazzle specifically references Hawaiian mythology. The Hawaiian equivalent of dragons are Mo'o, which are essentially lizards with powers. Like Western dragons, Mo'o can be associated with all kinds of elements, but there are some common features. They are often depicted as female, they are often able to shapeshift into women to seduce unsuspecting men, and they're often described as black as the night. And there you go, Salazzle! It's mostly black, it's very feminine and can only be female, and it uses pheromones and those bedroom eyes to control a bunch of male Salandit and even attract humans. You know, I'm not a big fan of Pyukumuku, but I have to acknowledge that this is the best possible outcome from making a sea cucumber into a Pokemon. I mean, sea cucumbers aren't exactly the most exciting looking creatures, and most of them don't even look like animals, but some of them do have this interesting ability to expel their Cuvarian tubules, which are part of their respiratory system, out of their anus as a defense mechanism. Which is what Pyukumuku's mouth-hand thing references, as well as its ability innards out. So they took a plain-looking animal that can defend itself by spitting out its insides, and turned it into a cute, charming Pokemon with a funny gimmick. Win-win. Bounsweet is another one that's a really good translation of something into Pokemon form. It's based on the purple mangosteen, a fruit that is native to Indonesia and Malaysia. And there's no way you can look at this fruit and not see a Bounsweet. The purple skin, the white flesh, the cupped leaves, it's all there. Bounsweet is basically a mangosteen with a face. But it gets better. When it evolves into Steenie, it becomes the most precious Pokemon of all time. Seriously, I fell in love with Steenie as soon as my Bouncy evolved. She's just so pure. And its design manages to be very humanoid while still remaining faithful to the signature look of the fruit. Even without Bounsweet, Steenie is clearly identifiable as a mangosteen. And that's still the case when it evolves into Tsarina. Although this transition from fruit to queen isn't immediately obvious, but there is a connection. Apparently there's a story of Queen Victoria offering £100 sterling to anyone who can bring her some mangosteen. There's no solid historical evidence that this ever actually happened, but that legend earns the mangosteen the nickname Queen of Fruit, which is literally what Tsarina is. And it has a design element that is perfectly executed: the stem crown. It reads clearly as a stem and as a crown, and it looks almost exactly like an actual mangosteen stem. Sandygast is just a haunted sand mound. It's very simple, but it has a solid Gen 1 vibe. But when it evolves, Palisand just nails it. I love how the shovel functions as a flag and how it uses seashells as decorations, but to me the best part is how it anthropomorphizes the castle features. The window eyes and the tunnel mouth are kind of expected, but the tower hands and how the battlements function as fingers, that's super creative. And even with all that, it still retains some of that simplicity from Sandygast and could still fit fairly well in Gen 1. Oh, and don't forget that the shiny looks like black sand. I love it when shinies have a reason for their color. But I think the most successful design of Generation 7 is actually one of the most popular Pokemon of the generation. If you remember way back in the first chapter of this series what I said about Cubone, I think you'll agree that Mimikyu knocks it out of the park. It's very cute with its small, roundish body and simple eyes. It's definitely mysterious since we have basically no idea what it looks like under the rags besides a blurry silhouette from the anime. But what we do see from it, like the glowing red eyes and the shadow claws, plus the scribbled on Pikachu face, give it such a creepy vibe that contrasts beautifully with that cuteness. And it captured all of our hearts with its jealousy of Pikachu. This series is almost at an end. Next week is the last episode of the Pokemon Creature Design Review with the worst designs of Generation 7. But that doesn't mean that I'm done talking about Pokemon Creature Design. As I mentioned before, I'm excluding Alolan forms and Ultra Beasts from the Gen 7 design reviews so that I can make videos about those separately like I did for Mega Evolution, so those episodes are still to come. I've also got a video coming in a few weeks looking at some creature design evidence for and against popular Pokemon theories. As I've announced before, there will be a redesign series to follow up from this, but I'll give you more details about that next week. And of course, the Creature Design Review series will be back once Generation 8 is out. But for now, please let me know what you thought of this video by leaving a like and a comment down below, and share the series with your friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Umbreon Libris, and I will see you in the next chapter.